Hello, New Mexico, and welcome to this week's edition of Wealthy Living, brought to you by the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm joined in the studio by the founder, Shawn Kiehne, and financial consultant, Tyler Kiehne. We've got a really fun show for you today. The title of this episode is Play to Win, Red Zone Retirement Strategies. And whether you are very familiar with the game of football or just loosely familiar, you're definitely going to want to hear the strategies of how you can have success in the red zone of your retirement. Shawn, Tyler, so great to be here with you, and I am super excited for this fun conversation. How are you this week?
Doing great. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
It will be. And Tyler, I feel like you should be in my seat this week.
Right.
Tell our viewers a little bit about your background and experience and why the show is going to be so powerful.
Right. So if you don't know me, my name is Tyler Kiehne, and I've played college football the last 4 years of my life. The first year was at UCLA, and the last 3 years were here at the University of New Mexico. So I'm a Lobo. But
Yes.
So I'm very familiar with the game, and I'm very familiar with finances, and a lot of people don't understand how closely related they actually are. And there's a lot of cool things that we have in store for you guys. So we're excited to get this going.
Yes, I'm excited because it's going to be so fun to hear from your perspective and the wealth of expertise and knowledge you bring, not just with football, but with finances. So
where's all the tailgate snacks and
I
stuff,
know,
though?
right? We should have thought of that. That would have been really fun. Well, if you're watching at home, get your favorite football snack going. It's going to be a great conversation. But again, every year, millions of Americans gear up for football season. But there's another important season that folks should be preparing for, and that's your retirement. Again, we're calling this episode Play to Win, Red Zone Strategies for Your Retirement. And in football, games are often won or lost in the red zone. Those 10 to 20 yards at the end of the end zone before it's touchdown time, right? One wrong move could cost you the game. But instead of yards, what we refer to for your retirement red zone is that 10-year window of time, both before you leave the workforce and after. It's crucial that you get the right strategies in place. So that's what we're going to be diving into today, the proven strategies to help you have a successful game plan for your retirement. So gosh, we've compared that retirement red zone to that time both before people leave and after their, before they leave the workforce, after their first 10 years in retirement. Explain, Tyler, why that time period is so crucial and critical for retirees to get right.
Absolutely. So in a game, the red zone is really the determining factor of who wins and loses. Inside of the 20, it's the 20 yards before you get to the end zone. Mistakes get magnified. Whether you're on offense or defense, when you're playing the game, if you make a mistake in the red zone, that could cost your team a victory. And in the same way, making a mistake in either aspect or either phase of your retirement, 10 years before or 10 years after, it could cause you a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, and a lot of unforeseen or unwanted headaches. And I just want to share a couple of statistics really quick. In 2024, in the NFL, the best red zone team was actually the Baltimore Ravens. They had a 74% conversion rate, meaning 74% of the time when they entered into the red zone, they scored a touchdown. They went on to go 12-5. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they were a winning team. They were a good team, right? So they had a winning season.
Yes.
So the top three last year were the Ravens, the Bills, and the Lions, all right around that 70% red zone conversion rate, right? So let's look at the opposite side. The bottom two teams last year were the Giants with a 43% touchdown percentage in the red zone, and the Cowboys with 46%. So, and the Giants, for context, went 3-14, and the Cowboys went 7-10. So they both had losing seasons, and it's both correlated to the percentage in the red zone.
Right.
And in the red zone, that's when you can score your most points. And any mistakes in that can really hurt you.
Yes, for sure. So how do we translate that to retirement? What are some of the biggest risks that folks need to focus on in the red zone of their retirement?
Yeah, there's a ton. I mean, inflation. There's healthcare, taxes. There's a number of different things that you can't plan for, and that's another one, not having a plan. That's a huge risk that people have, and it's just like in a game, if you don't have a game plan, if you don't know what plays you're going to call ahead of time, if you see the defense in cover two, you're going to call a certain play.
Right.
You know what I mean? And having a plan is probably the biggest thing because it'll have everything checked off.
Yes.
So the process of putting together a plan will prepare you and your situation, your finances, for anything that comes your way. So it doesn't matter whether you know what the risk is or not. If you have the right plan in place, you'll be prepared for whatever the opponent throws at you.
Yes. And I would add too, in my work as a financial educator, I think one of the biggest risks that folks are facing in their retirement red zone is something known as sequence of returns risk. Can you speak to that, Shawn, and then share a little bit about what the common reaction is for folks once they see, okay, this is a real risk that I need to be prepared for?
Yeah, so sequence of return risk is, the best way to explain it is if someone's getting ready to retire, let's say, and the market goes up 30 or 40% right when they're getting to retire. The studies show, and when we run the numbers, Monte Carlo simulations and stuff like that we do, if you're in that situation, getting ready to retire, and boom, your 401k gains a lot, 30, 40% right before you retire, you're never going to run out of money. But on the flip side, and I've heard the horror stories from people that have come in to meet with us, you know, hey, I was getting ready to retire, and then 2008 happened, and my 401k became a 201k, and I had to work 3 or 4 more years and stuff like that. So that's it. Timing matters in retirement with the market, and you know, big losses hurt you more than gains help you, for sure.
That's so true. And yet it's amazing because a lot of advisors, I know that sometimes I've heard folks have said, oh, I've worked with this advisor for years, and I'll say, okay, well, have they put together a plan for you, especially as you're nearing and entering retirement? And it's shocking to me, but a lot of times the response is, no, we'll wait till I retire and then we're going to figure it out. You guys are not a fan of that. You're a fan of having a plan on the front end. So explain why, you know, there's that difference and how you do things differently.
Right. It's just logical. Just think about it. Would you go into a game, I mean, as a football player, I understand this, but a lot of people might not. Would you go into any sort of game, competition, anything that matters to you without a plan or without preparation? Right? So if you just listen to the advice of retire first, then get everything put together, that's like saying, let's just start the game and then we'll game plan. Then we'll look at the defense, what they're running. Then we'll study the other coaches during the game. That results in losses. It makes no sense to plan after the fact.
Right. Yep.
Right? That would be reactive. What we strive to do is be proactive and get people that plan.
Yes.
And it makes sense. Retiring without a strategy equals running plays without a playbook at a critical point in the game of life.
Yes. Yep.
And preparation removes the stress, removes the uncertainty, and gives you confidence that you can retire the way that you want to.
Absolutely. I was getting nervous thinking about heading into any kind of game like that without a game plan. That was making me nervous. I can't imagine. No team would ever do that, right?
Absolutely
not if they want to win the game, for sure. Well, for someone who's watching who maybe is in that red zone of their retirement, again, that 10-year window of time, both before you're going to leave the workforce and the 10 years after you have retired, what's the first step that they should take?
Our first step is showing people, hey, we got to protect what you have, what you can't afford to lose. We got to get your risk in line. That's a big one. People all the time come in, oh, my advisor has me conservative, you know, and then we look at the holdings that they have in their accounts, and hey, did you know that bond funds, for example, everyone thinks bonds are safe and conservative, and we've all seen on our 401k statements the little pie chart, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Guess what? Most people I talk to have no idea that most bond funds are down 15, 20% in the last 3 years, and something they thought was safe. So we got to get your risk tolerance in line with how your portfolio is actually positioned. That's first and foremost, because losses hurt you more than gains help you.
Absolutely.
Got to play some defense.
Yeah, for sure. So if someone's watching and going, yeah, I need that game plan, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so what we tell people is, look, a lot of you have done great accumulating wealth in your 401ks, IRAs, right? But that's a different phase, working, contributing. So that's getting up the retirement mountain, right? But getting down the retirement mountain, it's a whole different ball game. Comes with a whole set of new rules and you know, hazards that can jump out at you that you're probably not anticipating. So that's why it's good to sit down with an advisor that's planned hundreds of retirement plans and can anticipate those things for you.
Well, I know you love putting together those game plans for folks to have a successful retirement. So
We do, it's fun.
yes, I know it's a lot of fun, and it really does change lives for the better. And so if that's you, if you are needing some help putting that game plan together for the red zone of your retirement, we encourage you to reach out to Shawn and Tyler and the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement to schedule your very own complimentary written financial plan. That number to call to claim yours is 877-697-6236. Or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and that will get you connected as well. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to be talking about how you can succeed with having a reliable, ongoing, steady stream of income as you are looking to your retirement red zone. We'll tackle how to do that when we come back.
There's quite a few things that go into a good plan for our clients.
Anywhere in your life, you've used a GPS at some point, right? And you need to know what the destination is, right, in order to get the directions. And the plan is just simply the directions to get there.
So when we're looking at a holistic plan for our clients, it entails quite a few things like income stream. Do you have enough income to last the rest of your life? Taxes. How can we mitigate those taxes, and how can we position your portfolio better to help offset the taxes? We have other things like legacy planning, estate planning services that we offer. So at Kiehne Wealth and Retirement, we've put together a team that truly cares for our clients. Whenever a client calls, someone from the office does our best to call them back within 10 minutes. Just things like that. That's the feedback we get from a lot of clients, is that we're very responsive. We keep in touch with them, and that's something people don't find at a lot of these big box companies. You know, typically at those companies, you've got new advisors coming on that just graduated from college, and they change and they get promoted every 6 months, and so we hear that a lot. In my eyes, a successful retirement is peace of mind, just knowing how you're positioned, where things are going, and that you have someone on your side to help navigate those.
It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be a mystery or something that you just don't know how to do. It can be very simple.
Welcome back to Wealthy Living New Mexico. I'm Kristen Oakley here with both Shawn and Tyler from Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. We're so glad that you're joining us today. If you're just tuning in, we are having a really informative and insightful conversation all about the red zone of your retirement. And we're likening it to the red zone in football, which, as you did such a great job of saying earlier, Tyler, games are won or lost in that red zone. But when it comes to your retirement, we're not talking about yards. We're talking about that 10-year window of time, both before you leave the workforce and after. It's crucial to make sure you have the right strategy in place. You want to have the right playbook, right? And yet, in the game of football, the playbook changes in the red zone. How does the playbook need to change in the red zone of retirement?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that in football, there's different phases of the game, right? There's the game you play in the first quarter is different from the game you play in the second quarter, third quarter, so on. So relating that to retirement, the retirement red zone is just the different, it's a different phase of the game that you've been playing. He alluded to the retirement mountain. It's kind of similar. So when in your working years, that's like being, you just received the kickoff, you're getting your drive started, right? Your offense has the ball and it's 1st and 10. So you have a lot of time and you have a lot of space to recover any losses that you might have had. Therefore, you can take more risks, right? You can take the long 60-yard passes or try to get those explosive plays, which are 15 yards or more.
Right.
So that's the working years. That's the full field offense. After that, the retirement years is more like the red zone. You're getting close to that finish line. You're getting close to scoring. The playbook has to change because you don't have the time or the space to recover. Right? It's very hard to score in football. People don't understand how hard it really is and the chess match that it is, right? There's specific defenses for specific plays. And it's extremely and incredibly complex, and so is retirement. But when you get to that red zone, you have to protect the ball. You have to protect your assets. You have to protect what you can't afford to lose.
Yes. Yep.
But you also still want to score. You don't want to get to the red zone and take a knee and say, we're good right here.
Right, or throw a Hail Mary.
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Or just give the other team the ball because you made it to the red zone. That's not the goal. The goal is to score.
Right.
And the goal is
Yes.
to win.
Yep.
But you have to do that strategically by protecting what you can't afford to lose and growing your money at the same time.
Yes, so well said. I get excited hearing you talk about
That was
specifically.
awesome.
I know, right? Especially with his wealth of expertise as a football player. That's awesome. We also need to talk about the mental game of this. And I know that there's a huge mental shift that happens for folks when they are entering the red zone of their retirement. Can you speak on that?
Definitely, it's a different mindset. Like I said earlier, you're getting up the retirement mountain when you're working, like Tyler related it to football right now. All you're focused on is working, contributing to those IRAs, 401ks, getting as much in your retirement pot as you can, right? So that's one mindset. But once you get into that retirement red zone, the game changes and you have to change your mindset. You have to start planning for things that are going to come up that the defense is going to throw at you, right? Like taxes, like healthcare issues, planning to have an income that you can't outlive, stuff like that. So it's definitely a different game once you're getting close to retirement or about to retire, or you're already retired. And what I find is people are so conditioned to just be aggressive and chase those gains in the stock market.
Yes.
And like I tell people, most of you out there, you've done a good job at saving. You've already won the game. Why are you taking so much risk? And you've already won the game.
Right.
All you need to do is be getting into victory formation and taking a knee with the ball. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a college football game, the Miami Hurricanes against Georgia Tech. There was like 30 seconds left. All Miami had to do, they were ahead. All they had to do was take a knee with the ball. For some crazy reason, they handed off to the running back. He ran through the line, he fumbled, Georgia Tech got the ball, next play, threw a touchdown, they won the game.
Wow.
And relating that to retirement is why take the risk when you've already won the game? Protect what you can't afford to lose.
Yes, so well said. No one wants to see a game, if you're a fan of the team who was in the lead, fumble the ball at the last minute, right?
That coach
so
for Miami in that particular game, that press conference, you could just see it on his face, like, what did we do?
Yep.
And it is so painful because it is incredibly hard to win. Incredibly hard. Not only in football, but just in life in general, especially with finances, it's tricky.
Yep.
But when you're ahead, take the win.
Right. Yeah. Don't put at risk what you don't have to, right?
Exactly.
For sure. Well, a lot of what people are risking is their retirement income, right? Because now that's the other mindset shift. You go from saving and accumulating to now you have to live off that money for the rest of your life. So talk a little bit about the different sources of retirement income that folks need to be planning for as they approach the red zone.
For sure. Number one is Social Security. And just like in football and any sport, timing is crucial. There's different strategies if you take now versus deferring later, and we help navigate through those kind of decisions. If you're lucky enough to have a pension, only about 18% of the people have pensions now, but that's a source of income. Withdrawals from 401ks, IRAs, we see some people have rental income, things like that. So it's definitely income is everything in retirement. We didn't work all those years to get this big lump sum of money to take huge withdrawals out, right? Once we're retired, why not?
Right.
We'll get hammered in taxes.
Yes.
So it's a whole different ballgame of income strategizing, and that's where we're really strong, is developing those income plans for people and doing it as tax efficient as possible.
For sure. And just like a coach needs to have the right strategies in place, the right game plan for that critical transition, this is what you do for folks. So talk a little bit, I know we always talk about this complimentary written financial plan that you offer, but Tyler, explain what folks are going to walk away from an income standpoint, the kind of level of detail they'll receive with a written income plan.
Right. What you'll receive is the numbers, what it's going to look like. And it's not going to change because it isn't dependent on the market. It isn't dependent on anything. It's a guaranteed number. And income is very important. Just like Scoring in a game is very important. You have to have an offense that can get you the points. And if you have a bad offense, it doesn't really matter how good your defense is. A defense can't hold up forever, right? So you need to be scoring some type of points and have that coming in, that guaranteed cash flow. And what it looks like is we just sit down, we see what you got, and we help you. We can get you something. I mean, it may not be exactly what you need, but we can, 9 times out of 10, we can improve somebody's situation because it's what we do.
Right.
We know the rules and the tools of the game in order to get the person what they need.
Yes, and having it in writing can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
For sure. So Tyler, Shawn, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, if this is resonating with you, or maybe you've been working with another financial professional, but they haven't built this kind of level of detailed plan for you, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. And the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement would love to be able to provide that for you in the form of a written game plan. Really what we're talking about is that written complimentary financial plan. And so we encourage you to claim yours today by calling 877-697-6236. Or again, you can connect online simply by scanning that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. When we come back, how do you finish the game of your retirement strong? We're going to talk about combining growth with tax strategies and legacy planning right after this.
I have fun. I wake up every day excited to go to work. Every day is a little bit different.
At Kiehne Wealth, we just like to treat everybody just like if they're our friends or our family. You know, we don't look at it as a business.
Really give them peace of mind. That's the feedback that we get from almost all of our clients is, hey, we really appreciate you. You took the time, you explained everything in simple terms, help us understand it, and we have that peace of mind working with you guys at Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. The benefit of us being independent, our clients like it because we have options to meet their needs. Over the years, we pride ourselves on, we don't just meet with you at the beginning of your plan or your retirement journey. We meet with you all the way from beginning to middle to end. We have annual reviews with all of our clients just to mainly catch up, see how they're doing, see if we need to tweak anything in their plans. What I like to say that people like about us is we're local. We're from New Mexico. My family's been here for generations, and they like to just deal with a real person, not someone on a 1-800 number. Another thing that's unique about us at Kiehne Wealth and Retirement, hablamos español. So we have a lot of clients that speak Spanish only, and they like us because we can explain everything to them in their native language.
Welcome back to Wealthy Living New Mexico, where today we have been drawing on a lot of analogies from the game of football on how you can succeed in the red zone of your retirement. Again, that crucial period of time, both 10 years before you leave the workforce and 10 years after, you have to make sure you have the right game plan in place so that you can be confident you have enough income to last you throughout the rest of your life. And in this segment, guys, we want to talk about finishing the game strong, right? And Tyler, I love that we can draw on your years of experience as a collegiate football athlete. What, in your mind, does it look like for someone to finish the game strong as a retiree?
Yeah, you can talk about strategies, you can talk about different plays and different things like that, but the biggest thing is a mindset shift. That's what you need to finish a game, because you play 3 quarters, you're getting tired, you know, your body starts to hurt, you know, your hand's gotten smashed, your foot's gotten stepped on, somebody rolled up on your knee, like you're hurting. But you have to refresh yourself and give that new refreshed mindset to yourself and your team. That's why when you watch a football game, 4th quarter, everybody does this. They put up the 4s, right? And what that's signifying is a mindset shift. Like, this is what it comes down to. And that mindset shift in retirement looks like this. It's going from trying to get a big gain, 40, 20, 30, 40% gains, to protecting more of what you got.
Right.
Right? As a defense in the 4th quarter, you have to be very careful not to give up big plays, because that could hurt you.
Right.
I remember specifically we were playing up in Utah against Utah State. We were down at half, and one tradition we used to do was at half we would switch out our undershirt. And what that would signify would be refreshing your mindset. It's almost like a new start, right, when you put on that new shirt. And we were down at half pretty significantly, but we ended up coming back and winning that game when it didn't look like we were going to. And what that came from was a mindset shift.
Yes.
And it's the same way with your finances. You have to switch your mindset. You're not in the same position you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, yeah, the market's doing good. Sure, you can get a ton of gains if you're in there, but that's not the part of the game that you're in. You've already won.
Yep.
Take the W. You know, there's no need to risk taking a loss when you're at the finish line.
Right. Yeah. And this is why how your money gets handled, how you safely come down the mountain, as we've used that analogy on the show as well, is so crucial. But yet you're still balancing folks needing growth to keep up with inflation. You're balancing tax efficiency with them, with their withdrawals. I mean, so much goes into succeeding in this red zone.
Exactly. And one thing people don't plan enough for is estate planning or legacy planning. Like I ask people at our live events, how many of you all have kids and grandkids that you still like and that you want to pass money onto? And everyone kind of laughs at that.
Right.
But we're big on, if that's people's goal, hey, I just have this bucket of money, I don't need it, I want to pass it on to my kids. We have strategies out there. We can show you how to leverage that money and leave a lot more to your kids and grandkids. One specific client example with an account that we used for them, they put in $600,000 into that account. The guaranteed death benefit that's going to go to their kids now by just using the right account is $900,000. And the client said to us that day, he's like, well, it's not very many days that you make $300,000 in a day. So we have estate planning strategies like that to leave more to your kids and grandkids, because we didn't work our whole lives to give it to taxes.
Right, to fumble the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? At the end of the game, for sure. Well, Shawn, Tyler, this has been really fun. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you.
And we encourage you to reach out and get your solid game plan in place so that you can be successful in the red zone of your retirement. That number to call to claim your complimentary written financial plan is 877-697-6236. Or again, you can click that QR code. That will get you connected as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to being back with you next time here on Wealthy Living New Mexico.